The loss of estrogen in menopause and perimenopause affects the entire body. We have estrogen receptors on every organ of our body. But today we're going to talk about how it affects our physical body. So skin, hair, and body weight. One of the areas that we notice changes is in our skin. So on average, every year after age 20, we lose 1% of our collagen. After menopause, it increases to 30%, and then 2% every year after that. We also lose hyaluronic acid from our skin, which means that our skin will be more dry and less elastic. We lose growth factors and repair enzymes. So this makes our skin more fragile and more prone to bruising. Estrogen also affects our melanin production. And so the loss of estrogen will increase the discoloration that we experience on our skin. So the things that you can do to treat all of these is use the right skincare. And I have curated skincare boxes here specifically for that. They are targeted specifically to protect the collagen. So as we lose estrogen, our collagen degradation goes up and our production goes down. So it's really important to tackle both of those. So to preserve the collagen, you use skincare, and to increase collagen production, you use these in-office treatments like lasers, microneedling, Sculptra, and even some types of fillers. So a lot of the fillers that we use here are hyaluronic acid based, and so that is going to improve that natural hyaluronic acid in our skin that we tend to lose throughout perimenopause and menopause. Another way estrogen loss affects our physical body is the hair. So we will lose hair as we go through perimenopause and menopause. The first way is something called a female pattern hair loss. And that involves a diffuse thinning of the hair, especially towards the front of the hairline here. You're gonna notice a little bit more fallout, less growth of the hair. And the other is you're going to be affected more by telogen effluvium, which is just an increase in hair shedding. It's a temporary thing, but you'll just notice like a lot of shedding that happens throughout a short period of time, like a few weeks to a few months. So both of those combined contribute to hair loss in perimenopause and menopause. The things that you can do about that is, first, I would recommend getting a full lab workup. And you want to include a look at your thyroid, your vitamin levels, certain mineral levels. Make sure all of those are optimized so that your hair can grow healthy. The next thing you want to do is oral prescriptions and oral supplements, oral vitamins, minerals, supplements that can replace things that you're not already getting in your natural diet. You may need to increase your protein intake as well. And then in-office treatments like PRF hair treatments, which we do here, are great for helping the hair grow and improving your diet and stress. So improving stress levels through things like meditation, relaxation techniques, those kinds of things can also decrease your cortisol, and some of the cortisol that gets transferred into DHT can increase loss of hair. And so you want to minimize your stress, and that can help preserve your hair. So our facial bone is also affected by estrogen. As we lose estrogen, we get bone resorption, which means we lose some bone from our face. And when that happens, we start to notice some sagging and wrinkles. For example, we'll lose some bone from our temples or around the eyes, and we will get some hollowing, some dark circles around the eyes. We can get some hooding to our eyelids. When we lose our cheekbone volume, we'll see some nasolabial lines here. We can lose some bone around the nose, and that can start to make the nose appear wider. And the biggest one is we start to lose some bone from our mandible back here. And when we lose that support here, and it creates a little bit of a jowl and a marionette and some sagging here below the chin area. And so what you can do about that is use fillers to replace that bone that we had lost. You can also use a Sculptra to replace that bone and that volume. And that can give you a little bit of a lift and improve those lines that you're starting to see in the face. And one of the biggest ways that people tend to see estrogen affect the body is by weight gain. And weight gain in the sense that when you start to lose that estrogen, you can be doing the exact same diet and exercise you always have, but you start to gain this weight. And typically it's around the waist area. It can be on the arms, it can be in the thighs. And it's because we lose estrogen that we also produce estrogen in our fat cells. And so the body is trying to make up for that loss of estrogen by increasing and retaining fat storage so it can somehow still produce some type of estrogen. What you can do about that is, of course, try to optimize your diet and exercise is meant for a perimenopausal or menopausal woman. And we explain that in our consultations here on exactly what type of diet and exercise that you would need to improve your levels. And then you want to improve your intake of certain supplements. Hormone therapy can help, and sometimes a GLP-1 agonist can help as well.